Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about operations or algebra on functions, section 2.8. We talked about functions before. We talked about how we find a domain, how to find the range of the functions, how to deal with different kind of functions, the quadratic function, linear functions, rational functions. And today we're going to learn about how to do operations with the functions. So we're going to start with the simple operations. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So first of all, when we need to add two functions, we write it in this way: f plus g of x equals f of x. We add the two functions together, f of x plus g of x. Similarly with the subtraction, f minus g of x is f of x minus g of x, and the multiplication f times g of x is f of x times g of x, and the division f divided by g of x is f of x divided by g of x. And of course g of x cannot be 0 because we can't divide by 0. Alright, let's get an example and do these four operations on that example. So I'm given that f of x is 4x minus 3, g of x is 7x plus 14. So I'm going to do the first operation, which is f plus g of x. So f plus g of x is again f of x plus g of x. And what is f of x? It's 4x minus 3 plus g of x is 7x plus 14. Combine the alike term, 4x and 7x is 11x, minus 3 plus 14 is plus 11. Therefore, f plus g of x is 11x plus 11. Alright, let's do the subtraction. F minus g of x equal f of x minus g of x. And again, what is f of x? 4x minus 3 minus, let's put that in parentheses, 7x plus 14. Okay, so now I combine this together. Let's distribute the minus. So I have 4x minus 3 minus 7x minus 14. 4x and negative 7x, I have negative 3x, and I have negative 3 and negative 14 is negative 17. Okay, let's do the multiplication. So I'm gonna multiply f of g of x, which is again equal f of x times g of x times g of x, and I'll get f of x is 4x minus 3 times g of x is 7x plus 14. And we do regular foiling. 7x times 7x times 4x is 28x squared. And I have negative 21x. And here's 14 times 4x is 56x. Negative 3 times 14 is negative 42. Let's combine the like terms here. So I have 28x squared. 56 minus 21 is plus 5 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. And 5 minus 2 is 3x minus 42. Okay? So the last thing is f over g of x equals f of x divided by g of x. Okay, what is f of x again? 4x minus 3 divided by g of x is 7x plus 14. Okay, up to this step I am done with f over g of x. However, I want to make sure that this denominator cannot be 0. So I set 7x plus 14 equals 0. And I solve for x, so subtract 14. I have 7x equals negative 14, then x divided by 7, both sides I have x is negative 2. Therefore, f over g of x equals 4x minus 3 divided by 7x plus 14, and x cannot be negative 2. Okay? I hope that this is helpful for you to understand the four operations that on functions. Let's get an example and find the algebra on a specific number on the function. So I have an example here in your notes. I have s of x equals x plus 3. This is example. And I have t of x equal x squared minus 4. And I'm supposed to find s minus t of negative 5. Alright, so in order to find this one, I have to find s minus t first. So s minus t of x equal s of x minus t of x. And what is s of x? It's x plus 3 minus x squared minus 4. So that would be equal x plus 3 minus x squared plus 4. So let's simplify that. So that would be x squared, minus x squared, and then x, and 3 plus 4 is 7. So this is s minus t of x, but I want s minus t of negative 5. So what's going on is, as I did before, I'm going to plug negative 5 here instead of x and solve for s minus t of negative 5. So that would be equal negative 5 squared plus negative 5 plus 7. So I have here negative 5 squared is 25, so minus 25. And here is negative 5 plus 7. So here is negative 25 minus 5 is negative 30, plus 7 is negative 23. So here is the answer. Last example, I have, let's find s over t of 2. So now, I already computed s minus t. So the same thing that I have done before, I'm going to compute s over t of x, which is going to be s of x divided by t of x. Okay? What is s of x? X plus 3. And t of x is x squared minus 4. So, s over t, and now I'm going to plug the 2. So s over t of x, s over t of 2 will equal, we're going to plug 2 here in x. So I'm going to have 2 plus 3 over 2 squared minus 4, which is equal, 2 plus 3 is 5. 4 minus 4 is 0. So what do you think about that? What do you think? I think it doesn't work. So s over t of 2 does not work. So s over t of 2 has no solution. Okay? Or does not exist. Does not exist. Is that clear? Because the domain 2 cannot be, it's not in the domain, because x cannot be negative or positive 2. Okay? I hope that this is helpful, and I'll see you later.